Jose, we're doing another show,
Yes.
and there's always so much to talk about. But particularly, it seems that there's so much controversy about this virus, this pandemic. Why do you suppose that is?
Because this election season is presidential election, and Democrats have to come up with something always in every single election, and that's what it is.
Yeah, let's take a look at some memes here. Now, this is CNN, Jose, and it seems that they're going to come out against anything President Trump is going to support, regardless of the truth or the effectiveness. And in this particular case, the same author on CNN, this Elizabeth Cohen, first she comes out saying how President Trump is wrong about hydroxychloroquine and states the facts. And then later, she even writes that studies find that the hydroxychloroquine did help.
It is wrong. Yeah, I see that the dates is the same person, and April 11 and July 2nd, she says something totally different. It's 3 months. In 3 months, she changed her mind. Obviously, it's not true. It's basically try to make President Trump looks bad. That's all it's about.
And yet, there are people who have taken hydroxychloroquine, even a state rep for Michigan out of Detroit, who actually got the infection, got very sick, took the hydroxychloroquine, and says it saved her life. And the Democrats got so angry that she praised President Trump for having mentioned it, which gave her the idea to take it, that they basically took action against her, Jose.
It's really, really sad, but it's true. You're talking something that actually is a fact. And that is what Democrats do. That's know about our country, is know about get our country better, it's about an agenda, a personal agenda from the leftists.
Yes, and they've basically tried to politicize this pandemic. And in this meme is very interesting because there were demonstrations against Whitmer's crackdown and lockdown and all of that, and she actually said publicly that these people are just spreading the pandemic, that they're not social distancing, and basically blamed all that on her. And,
yeah, she.
Well, and then later she actually joined the same type of thing, only she just happened to like the cause better. So it seems there's a hypocrisy or double standard here, Jose, where it's okay if a group gets together, doesn't socially distance.
You know, it's true. And actually, they says when that happened, that protest happened on Lansing, they call them domestic terrorists. But after Antifa and other leftist groups have been going and destroying private and public property, they are just called peaceful protesters by the fake news media. And that's wrong. Yeah, women have double standards. And
right.
She's looking right now to be nominated as a vice president. It's her ultimate goal in life. That's why she's very active, trying to make looks better the president. And obviously a lot of hypocrisy and double standards. It's really sad. It's really sad what's going on those days.
And it is interesting that after all these protests and people grouping together like that, there seems to be a higher outbreak of the pandemic since then, but nobody seems to be attributing it to that.
One of the things that the Democrats are very successful is very much they control the media, and they lying so much fake news every single time, every day. I mean, I don't watch all that media anymore. It's just a bunch of fake news out there.
But where we had some of the biggest problems, Jose, was where we had governors, and there were only 5 of them, who actually put infected people insisted that they be taken back into these nursing homes, where we've had about 40% of the infection rate where people were dying was in nursing homes, the most vulnerable people. where we had 5 governors force nursing homes to take them back. And the governess Whitmer is one of them.
It is really sad. And then actually, those governors are the ones who have more mediatic attention by the national media. And the record is really pathetic, really bad. And I mean, if you compare with other states, they don't have the right leadership, and that's out of control. This is not people that I would use as a role model. They doing a great job.
I hope that this is investigated, Jose, and I think that there's even an impeachment starting up in the Michigan legislature, because what happened there definitely should never happen again.
I know, and some people ask questions about that, but we have to also remind people that most of the attorney generals at each of those states that you mentioned are also Democrats. So it's very difficult. They're going to actually go up there and try to investigate their governor because it's the same party,
This meme amused me, Jose. I don't know if you ever watched South Park. It's a very funny show. It's one of the funnier comedies on TV. But that's what they're using these characters. But the point of this meme, Jose, is that there's all this fuss about this pandemic when 99.98% survival rate. And is that worth all the lockdown and disrupting our economy?
Again, I believe it's an agenda. I think the leftists are using this because it's an election year, and because they don't have anything else. I mean, if you think about it, before this pandemic started with the Democrats and all riots and all this, the economy was doing so well, but the stock market was so well. We were beating China so badly. Now
Right, exactly, and that's basically what this meme is a good one. That basically, when the doctor says, when asked, when do you think the COVID-19 will be over? His response is, I don't know, I'm not much into politics. And it basically shows that this whole thing has become political. We're in an election year, and the whole thing is to try to sink the economy.
That is true. And Democrats are so good about doing those things. You see, and I do believe in my heart, I do believe truly that they probably did a poll 6 months ago or something, and they find that they're going to lose really badly. And George Soros and all the leftist group try to do something bold to be able to get some attraction. And it's too sad, but they're doing negative things. There's nothing positive they're doing. Destroying cities, destroying monuments, private and public property. It's really sad what they're doing. This is not the politics that America needs to build a country. This is totally wrong, something that the left is using Venezuela to get the communists getting power. And as soon as they got in power, they're still there for 20 years. It's the same.
Jose, and basically what we're trying to do is get our economy going again. And the president is trying to get our economy going because that's what's going to help people more than anything of every different category. And one of the most important ways to get your economy going in again is to get the schools running. Because if the schools are closed, then people are going to stay home to take care of their children. And now we're seeing a big controversy about opening up the schools in the fall. And the thing is, you're seeing a lot of kickback on that. But the reality is, if you look at this German study, Jose, they did a study, and basically it showed that opening up the schools did not spread the infection. That these students are not carriers. And if you look, they studied 2,000 children in Saxony, Germany, and basically they came to the conclusion that that children do not spread the virus.
And this is a well-done study. They having around 1,500 children.
Yeah, and actually said that the children may act as a brake on the infection, which means that actually sending them to the schools might actually be good. So the point is, Jose, we don't need to be spending all this money on specially conditioning the schools. we don't have to worry about getting the schools open. It's important for our economy, so people can get back to work. And there's too much kickback to try to keep the schools closed.
Again, you know, I agree 100% with you. That's a valid study. But you see, the Democrats have been very successful controlling the schools. That most of the school boards are run by liberals, and they probably want to put their agenda, and always is tax, 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 get your money and spend it the way they want.
Right, and they're, of course, it's the unions, the school unions, and you'll look at in California, they're actually trying to oppose the charter schools and all that because they tend to be non-union. But the thing is, this study shows, and if people should follow the science, that opening up the schools does not cause a spread of the virus. It does not bring the virus home. So we got to get those schools open, Jose.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I think we need to do something to open our schools to be able to keep going. We can still paralyzed like that, and we don't want our economy to suffer.
And I've seen other studies, Jose, that keeping the children home causes other problems, lots of other problems, social problems and emotional problems. They got to get back to school.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it's sad, but I see a lot of the school board members are leaning to the leftists, and they have their personal agenda. It's just because it's election year, and because it's election year, they want to cause as much damage possible. They're affecting our families and our country, and it's too sad. But there's the new platform of the Democrats. This is true.
Anyway, Jose, we're going to have to do more of these. If people like them, you can subscribe to the channel. If you hit the bell, you'll see the next time we get one up.
Yes, and I invite people also to put their comments, and we can actually talk next time about their comments as well. But yeah, it's the bell and subscribe to the channel.
Okay, until the next time, Jose.
Adios.
Adios.